Hey Time Slicers, welcome to Slice Squad Spills. I'm your host, Nikki Wildflower. I went from a basement apartment to a multiple seven-figure empire. Now I'm here to share how you can do it too. Hello, hi. Welcome to the Slice Squad Spills podcast. I am so excited that you're here. As always, so much gratitude for you to take your time and listen to us here today. We have a very special episode. It's going to be Jackie and I today. We just went through this. We were in Phoenix for 4 days and we went through this breathwork training. And I want to tell you all about it because I just think that it was probably one of the most profound experiences that I've had in my life. I don't know if I'm sure you agree with that. We've already talked about it, but we did this. So we did this as a group. Me, Jackie, Alyssa, who's the co-founder of Slice Strands and our extensions director, and then our director of consulting, Delora. So it was a really cool and interesting experience for us all to do together. And none of us really knew why we were going there or doing it. We were just like, we should do it, right? Like, why the F would we not do it? We should do breath work. And so we're going to share a little bit of our experience with you. And first, before we even get started sharing that experience with you, I would love to explain how this even came to be, because everyone's like, breath work? Like, what are you doing, Nikki? You know me. I'm always on to the next freaking thing. I am not, or have not been in the past, any kind of a spiritual person. Now, listen, before you even jump to anything, you can do breath work without being spiritual. It's still really powerful. But I never really felt connected to anything higher than myself, or at least I haven't felt that way in a long time. And I will say that when my dad passed away, our dad passed away, rather, I had some experiences that were pretty inexplicable that kind of made me feel like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. I started doing breath work because a friend of mine, actually my stepsister, was like seeing this person and said it was really, really powerful. Was working with a breathwork coach, and I was like, maybe I should try it. And I didn't really even know what breathwork meant. I pictured it at the time. This was back in September, right after Dad passed away. I pictured it like, okay, I'm doing deep breaths in, I'm calming down, I'm doing deep breaths in, I'm exhaling out. I'm not thinking that I'm going to be tripping out on my own breath. Like, that's not where my brain went.
Like meditation, right?
I figured. I mean, I don't freaking know. I'm like, maybe I'm breathing wrong and they're going to tell me how to breathe right. I didn't know. Like, she didn't really explain what I was getting into before I did it. So the first time I worked with this breathwork coach, I was really freshly grieving. And I did the breathwork with her over Zoom, and I just like felt it was like the weirdest thing. I actually panicked because I don't know if my body had ever taken in that much CO2 before. Oxygen. So I panicked. Is that not CO2?
No. Oxygen and then CO2. They're, if I'm wrong, I'm going to be so embarrassed, but I'm pretty sure it's a range of two different.
Well, I'm not 100% sure, but like, I'm sorry, Stephen Fish, if you're listening to this by any chance, those are our instructors this weekend. Please, yeah. I promise I paid attention in school. I will reread the pamphlet. Okay. But anyway, I don't know, whatever the hell I was taking into my body, I was like, whoa. So my face started tingling and my hands got all like crampy and my body was crampy. And then we went into like, and I felt like really heightened, like almost like I was having sort of a spiritual experience. And then we came back down from that and did like more gentle breathing. And I feel like I just had never had more clarity in my life. My nervous system, like the way that I reacted to stress after that was so different from my normal high stress reactions that I was like, I'm doing this every week, 100%. Like, take my money. I don't care. This is like, I could sit in therapy for like 5 hours a day and it wouldn't do for me what this has done for me. Mm-hmm. And so obviously I got obsessed because that's what I do. And I just started doing this like even without my coach. I started doing breath work like every day. I'm like, every video I could find, every like guided one I could find, I did it. And of course, like being me, when I don't gatekeep shit. So I immediately start telling them like, Jackie, you got to try this. Alyssa, you got to try this. Delora, you got to try this. And they were not strangers to this concept, but they were like, okay, well, Nikki's really enthusiastic. Maybe it's time we jump back into this. And Jackie started doing it. And then I was like, I kind of think that everybody really needs this a little bit. And that if if more people got to do this, they would be able to achieve more in their lives, just be in such a better place to be able to like process their feelings and emotions and get more clarity. I just think I had never been more creative in my life either. It's no coincidence that like we launched Strands a month later and it just went like soaring into the air. So
Yeah.
tell me about how we ended up in Phoenix. I know, but I want you to tell me how we ended up in Phoenix.
I actually remember when it comes to breath work. So, of course, I'm a yoga instructor and I have been for, I don't even know how long, 6 or 7 years or something. And so when Nikki started expressing to me like her experience with this breath work, I had heard of like Wim Hof before and I had seen videos and content of this form of breath work, but I didn't quite understand it. And so, yeah, and in my own personal like yogic mind, I'm thinking pranayama, just like maybe alternate nostril breathing. Like I had no idea what it was. But once I experienced my first session, in my mind popped in this piece of social media content that I saw years ago. It was someone named Justin that I went to massage school with.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, Justin, if you're listening to this, he's amazing. He had posted, I think it was like, no, not years ago, maybe like last year, a video of him at a breathwork training. And the video really caught my attention because he was having an emotional release in the video. And my first initial thought was like, scary, scared of that. Don't know what that is. Looks really intense. But after that first post, he really, like, it was clear that he really had a profound experience with what he did. And I was interested and, to be honest, like a little judgmental, or because it felt very uncomfortable for me to watch people have emotional releases. Because as we've probably mentioned in this podcast, Nikki and I were not really raised to be like super in touch with our emotions. We really weren't.
Well, Dad raised us to be in touch with our emotions. Dad did not have any toxic masculinity.
No, he didn't.
Mom did.
She's a little more of like,
she's a brick. She's a friggin' brick.
Yeah, she is 100%. So,
and even our brother is too. Our mom was, his wife calls him a boulder all the time.
He is. And we, like, I've always considered myself sensitive, but also only to certain people, like only around people that I feel really safe around. So I do not like to cry or like express my feelings or emotions at all. And so, yeah, I watched those videos and I felt uncomfortable about them, but I also was very intrigued. And then when I experienced this first breathwork session that I did here in Colorado after Nikki prompted it after our dad died, I'm like, oh, this must be what Justin was doing. And so I went onto his Instagram account. I found somatic release Instagram account. I looked at all of their content, at their website, at their reviews. I sent it to Nikki and I said, they're doing a training in December. Like, what do you think? And she's like, yeah, let's go. And that's kind of how it all got prompted. We booked a call and there we were in Phoenix. And then our team, But
I just want to say that you were like, I don't know if I want to do the in-person one or if I just want to do the one online. And I was like, I'm going to Phoenix. And she's like, don't you want to do a little bit more research? And I'm like, absolutely the F not. I don't want to do more research. I'm going.
You know what? I was letting my like ruminating thoughts control my decision-making process. And then you were like, no, we don't do that here. And I'm like, you're right. We don't do that here. Let's just go do it.
So I'm like, bye, girlfriend. I'm getting on the call. You coming or what? On the call, like I'm like, yeah, go. I'm good. Like we don't even need to do this. You can just take my money. But no, I really, and then I didn't do much. I didn't know how different it was going to be to the work that I do with my own coach because she had not been through that particular training, but it ends up that it's very similar. Although I will say that the music is different and a little bit of the modality is different, like when we do breath holds and stuff like that. But the feeling that I get is most similar. So anyway, and Delora and Alyssa, they're just like down ass bitches. So they're like, yeah, I'm going too. Hell yeah. Like I had like sent them a couple. Delora had done breathwork in the past, Alyssa too. And I had been like sending her videos. I'm like, here, try this one. And they're really powerful and profound for her too. So we all just did it together. Not knowing, I'm like, is this even going to tie into business? Who cares?
We didn't care.
I was like, I still don't. I'm like, I know that I'm going.
Yeah. And we went.
I know that I'm going.
But
I've never
after
like,
being there, or do you feel like, because I feel like, wow, now I want not to make it a business mission, but to make it like we need to spread this modality around the freaking globe because it's so powerful and people really need it.
I think people would be a lot less shitty if they did it.
Yeah.
Just like in general, I think they'd be a lot less stressed. I think they'd be a lot kinder. There would be a lot less rage and anger expressed out into the world if people were able to do this. And here's what I want to say. So I went into this and I didn't do a ton of I didn't really look too much at their social media or anything like that. And when I work with my breathwork coach, I'm not necessarily having these deep releases. I do cry sometimes, but I'm not screaming. I'm not angry, anything like that. So I didn't 100% realize that that does happen for people. And so this is what I want to say. We get there and the first day we go into these breathwork sessions and immediately people are screaming and crying and releasing anger. And I just remember after that session, I was still judgmental. I was like, what the F was that?
Yeah. A little bit same. But also it was both for me. I was a little judgmental, but then it also, I screamed a couple of times. I'm like, well, I felt that permission. I'm like, well, I'm going to try a release here because I do have a bunch of pent up shit inside of me. And if everyone else is screaming, I may as well join them. And it felt amazing. But I was still feeling a little bit taken back.
We all had the common sense to be okay, this is us being judgmental. This is not anything but that. There is something within us that feels really uncomfortable with people expressing in that way. And it's probably because I never felt safe to do that. And obviously by day 3, I'm like a freaking puddle. I don't like
crying.
I don't like when I don't like when people touch me. I'm hugging people. I'm get over here. I love you. I love you. And I'm who the hell is Nikki? I want to explain a little bit into the way that it works and why people end up expressing like that and how that's good for you. But I don't think that I've got that. I understand it in a huge way. Do you feel like that you could explain it a little bit better?
There are a bunch of different types of breath work. Obviously, we've kind of spoken on that a little bit, but the particular breath work that we just became practitioners in is called somatic breath work. And it is all about connecting with the body, right? We live in a fast-paced society. We are in our minds and things are constantly being thrown in our direction, like stressors, everyday stressors. Could be something small, you get an email that doesn't have words of encouragement, you get a crappy email, or something really big, your dad dies, right? We just experienced. And so we hold those, each thing that's thrown our way, each stressor that's thrown our way gets held inside of our bodies and our nervous system, right? So that we can keep moving in life. And what happens is all of those stressors being held in the body, it becomes all of these rocks or however you want to visualize it, things that we don't need to be holding on to anymore, but that are still there because we never fully processed what happened. And so what this form of breath work does is it helps you clear out those things that you're holding on to, those feelings inside of your body that your nervous system are holding on to, so that you can show up more present every day without it being there, right? So for some people, that's trauma release. And everyone has trauma. It's subjective, right? Depending on your life experience. But yeah, the whole point of it is to actually move through and express by winding up the nervous system in the first half of the session so that you can then find clarity and process in the second half where it's more bringing it into your parasympathetic nervous system. So that is really what we were trained in, is allowing people to clear out space through expression so that they can become more clear and more authentic in their everyday life.
Clear to be clear. That's the easiest way to put it. You've got to clear to become clear. The creative energy that I get from being able to release my emotions and connect in that way, I feel something bigger than myself when I do breath work. It does make me a little bit loopy too, but in the best way possible. And then the way that it just your nervous system just relaxes. Oh my gosh, I'm such an anxious person. I can't remember the last time that I felt anxiety in the way that I used to.
Provoked, that shock feeling, the reactive feeling, I don't feel it as much at all either. Yeah, same thing.
So now it's been like 3 months of me doing this weekly, if not like every other day, which is totally unnecessary. You don't have to do like these big breathwork journeys every day of your life. I just, can't do anything half-ass. Everything has to be done with my whole ass. So the way that I feel like I'm able to show up for my kids, my partner, my clients, my employees, like as a leader, this like has played so heavily into that as a leader, because I used to be so like, to be able to hold space for people is huge. So anyways, in the beginning, I'm still being judgy. By the third day, when I finally got to like have my own release, that took a little bit of prompting. I remember my eyes were closed, but Fish, who's the co-founder of somatic breathwork, like I think he came over and he just like tapped me here and said a couple things in my ears, and I was like, you know what, this bitch is gonna cry. And then I was like, amazing,
Like,
everybody needs to do this.
so good, so beautiful. Like the whole entire thing. I like go on and on.
And then we got to kind of host our own sessions, and that was huge. And then I even went to like a contact dance class, contact improv. How fun was that? I'm like, first of all, I don't even let people within like 5 feet of me, mind you, like put their hands on me. I'm always like, get off. And next thing you know, I'm like rolling with people, like, you roll on my back and then I'll roll on yours. It was really fun. And I thought it was really cool to see one of the most interesting parts. So I probably just based on past experiences in my life, am so trepidatious around men in general. I don't have a lot of men in my circle. Obviously my dad passed away. He was a really tender guy, but most men in my experience that I come across on a regular basis are not that way, especially where I live on the East Coast. Like they've got like this hard exterior and they're angry and they're not necessarily, I don't want to generalize men on the East Coast, but they are not as maybe in touch with, or people outside of this community maybe are not as in touch. So to see men like being able to release their anger in a safe space and being able to, and also just to have like platonic touch even with each other based on like societal norms and what I've been told my whole life. I watch them hug each other and stuff like that, and my assumption is that they're gay immediately. I'm like, it's kind of interesting that every man here is gay. That's why I feel so that's why I feel so comfortable. And come to find out, like most of them were not. And I'm like, like why? I think only gay men can express themselves. That's me. So now even being able to see that, I have been able to like let men back into my life and into my circle and connect with them like I haven't been able to do since possibly ever.
Yeah. We got to witness men releasing anger, but like also sadness, tears. Like I think turning it over to the way that society just does perceive men, and we are speaking very generalized right now, and we know that. So I just want to say that disclaimer. So I think
based on experiences and not just our experiences, based on the experiences of most women in the world. Yeah, like we have been betrayed by men on a huge scale. And I think it's okay that we talk about that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I just wanted to give a disclaimer. Just being woke.
I'm redacting the disclaimer.
But there's that piece. And then there's the piece for men themselves, right? Who maybe were told that like feeling your emotions, maybe they were told the message of hugging another man is gay, or like in a negative connotation, or crying is weak. And you're not a true man if you're crying. And I think to be able to it was a very beautiful experience for me to be able to witness that piece of it too, like men crying and men feeling and being honest and not putting up this like rough, hard exterior. Yeah, I think it was healing in so many different ways to like on that aspect for me to witness that. And then also like the anger, because at first, on that first day, any scream from a man, it did trigger my nervous system.
It triggered me too.
I was like scared for a second.
I was like, I don't think I'm going to keep my eyes closed here. I got to watch my back.
Yeah, like, is everything okay? And that just like goes to show our nervous systems react to men screaming for a reason, right? by the last day, I was like, scream, let it out, let's go, to everyone. So it was just such like a full circle journey, coming into it. Well, I was like very nervous and skeptical even from the beginning. And then that first day with the screaming, I was like, oh no, what did we get ourselves
I don't know if I could
into?
do this. We went back to our Airbnb, and I'm like, we're like, I don't know. Is this a thing that we're really doing? I'm not sure. And then by day 3, we were all like, life changed. A lot of us are taught to hold in our emotions, and especially men at such a young age are taught boys don't cry, men don't cry. And people sometimes say that to my son when he cries, and I'm very fast to be like, yes, I understand that's what you believe. That's not what we do here. Please cry. Let it out. You are allowed to feel every single one of your emotions, because when we don't allow boys and men to feel and to process their emotions and their trauma as it shows up, that gets bottled up and turns into rage in ways that are really, really dangerous for us later. Okay?
That's very true.
And I want to be really clear too so it was really beautiful to watch that and to kind of build some level of trust and connection with men again in general, albeit not romantically, but to be able to even like let them into my circle and hug them and not be like, I want to run the opposite direction was huge for me. I want to just make sure that everybody knows that when I say like I assume that they were gay, that there is no negative connotation with being gay for me. Those are just I'm gay. Obviously, there's no negative connotation. But I want to be clear that I felt immediately safe around these men for the most part. And I saw them platonically holding each other and like holding space for each other and hugging each other and, even like kissing each other on the cheek and putting their arms around each other. And my assumption was like, oh, these men they don't have that like rough exterior. That's probably because they're gay. And how wild that's where my brain went, So it's really interesting. And it was really just such a profound experience. And I'm just really excited, grateful for it. I was grateful to go through it with you and Alyssa and Delora, and grateful for every human that we met there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at least like 99%. What an experience, right?
I don't say life-changing lightly. I don't take saying this was a life-changing experience lightly. It literally was a life-changing experience. I just feel very connected. Same thing. Like I wanted to hug everyone and be like, I love you to everyone there by the last day. And I'm just so grateful for like that safe container that was created. And you want to know what's funny? That's another thing I used to be judgmental about, is like when people said like, this is a container because I'm in the wellness industry, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so corny. It's a container. But now I really get it. It did feel like a safe container in that space and with those people. And I'm sure we were not alone in like having those judgments or fears in the beginning. No, I know we weren't, because others expressed that. Like we were able to just be honest and be true about how we were feeling, even if it wasn't like this. I am sold on, not sold. No one was trying to sell us anything, but like, I'm fully in this on day one. Like other people had hesitation too. And them expressing that gave us the permission to express that, and to feel that. So to go like through that whole entire journey of like, to like, to I'm leaning in to like, I love these people.
I love them.
Cool. Yeah.
I think I tried. I think I hugged almost everybody before we got out of there.
Well, because Nikki raised her hand on the last day, and like we were talking about our aha moments, and Nikki's like, I gotta say, I am not a hugger. And I think I've like I did contact improv last night, and like I've hugged everyone here, and like I want to. I like it for the first time. And I think everyone after that was like, we're coming around to hug you. So you got.
Everyone's like, I'm getting my hug. And then when I would give them like a half-ass hug, they're like, bring it in. I know you're holding back. Yeah, that was really, it was profound. It really was profound. And I can't wait to see like how this is incorporated into our lives in the future, into business too, and even not into business. I mean, even the way that I'm able to be a mom now, after that, like I came home and, Adelphia was like screaming in the middle of the night and having sort of a night terror type of thing. And I just took her into a safe place and let her scream. And then she was done. I didn't tell her to stop. I just let her go through it. So even the way that I'm able to show up for my children and like allow them like to fully express in a safe way is huge. And my reaction, my ability to hold space for them when they are expressing is big, because normally I have a stress reaction to that. But I'm just like, if you are able to hold space for strangers and let them express, hold space for your children too.
Right. I think it's like human response for most people anyway, to see someone crying or to see someone expressing anger or whatever, like yelling, crying, whatever, and to be like, oh, stop. Or like, I'm going to fix this for you. Let me bring you tissues. Don't be sad. Don't be mad. Instead of like, yeah, that's hard. Like, like where our initial reaction is, instead of holding space in a way of like, yeah, I see you. We're like, stop crying. Don't be, even, yeah, with babies. Like, oh no, don't be sad. I say it to my dog all the time. Don't be sad. Why are you so sad? So that's really cool. And you know what? There were a lot of moms there that expressed like, wow, I can't wait to see how this like reflects to my child. Like I'm telling them now it's safe and okay to feel.
Yeah, because before they would cry and I would just hold them and be like, it's okay. Like it's okay to cry, but like also kind of like, oh, everything's fine. You're okay.
Yeah. Like calm down.
Yeah. Also like stop.
Yeah.
Because we're mom is stressed. So yeah, being able to hold that space for them is pretty cool too. It's pretty rad. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So should we talk about like what this might look like? I mean, obviously we aren't like launching anything, but I will be excited to offer some breathwork sessions for people in our community, or even just like in our community separately, but also in the Slice Squad community. So
I think that I see there being group sessions for people that are already our consulting clients. I definitely, I still have to do all of like my practice sessions before I'm fully certified. So, but I am offering those to people. What I'm asking for my practice sessions is that people donate to Alzheimer's research. So, there does need to be like some kind of an energetic exchange and also like when people have nothing in it, they don't really care as much. So I just want to be like, that's what I want to do for that. As far as the way that we bring it into business, yeah, there probably will be sessions offered when we do retreats and personal and events and in-person events. I'm sure that this is going to be incorporated. It will be heavily influencing our inner work modules within. There's a lot. I'm sure there will also be opportunities to do private sessions as well.
Yeah. Should we talk about actually SEA? Like while we're on the topic of Slice Squad in general, as many of you probably know by now, we have been working with primarily hairstylists. We have worked with other service industry providers like in the beauty industry before, in Slice Squad Consulting. And as many of you probably know as well, I'm a massage therapist by trade and a yoga instructor. And I really quickly, like upon Slice Squad Consulting starting and Nikki and I kind of stepping into it together, I really quickly realized the power behind teaching people who were taught a trade business because in almost every trade school, they like breeze over it. So in my massage school, I don't even think we once spoke about business whatsoever. And so I wanted to go out on my own right away. And I just and I did, and I failed. Actually, I remember Healing Touch by Jackie.
Stop.
I know, but you know what? I failed in going independent. One, because I was 20, but two, because I had no information on how to run a business as a massage therapist. I had no idea. All I knew is I was good at being a massage therapist, and I did my best. And it didn't land because I was not consistent. I did not know how to market. I was not consistent. Wasn't tracking my finances. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. And I find that in, like I said, most service industries, nobody has information on business. It's like, okay, now you're a massage therapist. Okay, now you're a yoga teacher. Okay, now you're a breathwork practitioner. Actually, I will say they did a good job of bridging a gap a little for us at Somatic.
They definitely did,
business.
yes.
Yeah, but that was the first time I've really experienced that sort of thing happening inside of like a training. So Anyway, we are officially going to be launching something called Service Evolution Academy, where we will use our blueprint, which has proven to work time and time again for thousands of hairstylists and beauty industry entrepreneurs to scale their business to multiple six figures for other service industry providers. And I'm so excited about it.
It all translates. Like we have worked with people outside of hairstylists before too and gotten them the same incredible results. So it definitely translates. And a big part of what we do there is also inner work.
It is. It's mindset and business. So you really can't have one without the other.
You sure freaking can't. My God.
So it's going to be amazing. And yeah, we're going to be officially launching it probably by the time this podcast is live. We'll probably be at least doing calls, like interview calls, to see if people are a good match. And so maybe the link will be down in the description below. Who knows? It might be. If it's not, keep your eye out. We're really excited. Yeah, I'm like beyond excited to see other people feel empowered the way that we've empowered people in the beauty industry. So
I'm excited. I'm excited for it too. I'm not, I don't believe that the link is going to be on the bottom of this. And if it is, then somehow I'm always just like you guys, I'm not having a stress reaction because I'm woke now, but I'm always just like, I don't know if that's realistic, but we'll see. So hopefully there's a link underneath this to book your call. If not,
just keep your eyes peeled. Follow Slice Squad Consulting on Instagram. If you don't, you should. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a little silly not to.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are kind of the main things that I want to drive home today. So if you're a hairstylist and you're watching this and you want a breathwork session or you want to book a call to see like about our consulting services, our extension certification, any of that, those links are going to be below. Possibly if you are outside of the hair industry and you whether that be a massage therapist, yoga instructor, anything really, esthetician, and you really want to work on the business side of things and do some inner work on yourself to really open up the doors for abundance, there may be a link for you to book a call. If not, there will in the following episode after that. So thank you so much for hanging with us today and allowing us the space to share our experience that we just had with us, which was so powerful. Any closing words?
Yeah, like and leave a review. Like,
oh yeah, that
like and leave reviews. We always got to say that because it does really help.
It helps when you guys leave reviews to like make other people see what we're putting out there into the world. And I think what we're putting out there into the world is pretty great. So
I would have to agree.
Unbiased opinion, of course. Have a wonderful rest of your day, folks.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Slice Squad Spills. If you're enjoying the show, please subscribe, leave a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback is going to help us improve and attracts more listeners to the show. Please share with your fellow time slicers. And hey, if you're ready to optimize your time and double your income, we've got you covered.